Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Woke by Accident Podcast. It is a weekly chat about socially conscious topics impacting the culture. On this episode, we are joined by Sambaza, host and creator of the Sambaza Podcast.
Ready to go. And so that was my goal. And I was able to meet the emergency fund goal within 3-month time. And then from there, everything else is just income. So so that was basically how everything started. I sat down, I wrote out a plan. It is very scary because the job force, most people are dependent on the job. And without it, what can you do? Specifically, people who leave their job without notice, they get fired, they get laid off. So that is hard. But with the decision, knowing I wanted to leave, it was hard. Could I do it? Could I do it? And I was blessed to be able to do it.
Good.
Jen, we got to pay attention to this one. Miss Leslie, you say something very, very nice, and I want to throw it in there. You said you ask your husband for support, not permission. And see, we're here to support you all the time as men. And I think that is it's a highlight for what we're going to talk about, or, when it comes to support. Making these decisions are really, really difficult. And when you don't have the support, that can hinder you and make you doubt yourself when you're trying to do a lot of these things. So shout outs to your husband, flowers to him for doing that and helping out us other men.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Woke by Accident Podcast. Today we have a special and wonderful show. We are happy to have our most favorite co-host today, Sambaza, host and creator of the Sambaza Podcast. He is a 2-time nominee for the Best African Diasporan Podcast by the APVA, and he is from the Republic of Kenya in East Africa. He is now recently nominated for a 3rd time with the African Diasporan Award for 2024. So kudos and congratulations to Sambaza. And we'll be getting ready to vote soon. So please support our good brother Sambaza with votes for that African Diasporan Award. And details will be coming soon on how you can vote for Sambaza. So he also has been a presenter at the Afros and Audio Podcast Festival discussing Pan-Africanism, and he is an ambassador for the 2024 Afros and Audio Podcast. Hey, Sambaza.
Hey. Oh, I got to do this.
Okay. How's it going?
That's for the Gen Zs in Kenya. There's something going on out there. And they're fighting for their rights. A lot of people have died fighting for actually their rights. So I'm just wanting to put it out there for people. If you need to support, reach out to me, and I'll tell you the link of where you can support them just by sending a little dollar here and there. Helps out in whatever they can for hospital bills, lawyer fees, and what have you. I just wanted to throw it in there. And we have a great show today, but I just want to touch on being nominated for the 3rd time for the Diasporan Podcast of the Year. Yes.
How about that?
We also need a lot of support. So I need all the family out there. You tell your friends, tell your other friends, cousins, uncles, everybody. They need to do this because we got to bring it to Sambaza, to Kenya, and to the USA for the diaspora. Because we haven't won till we vote. So there we go.
That's right. Okay. I appreciate you sharing that. We definitely want to support you and your content that you've been, constantly putting out, and we support you in that. So we will share and encourage everybody to share it as well and support you. So excited about today's show. We are ready to introduce our guest. Any additional thoughts, Sambaza, before we introduce our guest?
Our guest tonight will have an inspiring story, and we want to listen to her stories and what she has to share with us as of today. And I'm hoping that at the end of it, all our viewers will be happy and will live inspired when they see this podcast. Just make sure you like and subscribe so that you can get to know when we're coming online and listen to our great messages. So I'm ready.
For sure. Thank you for sharing that. And so, welcome to another inspiring episode of our Woke by Accident combination with Sambaza Podcast. Today, we're diving into an incredible journey of a woman who embodies in resilience, creativity, and sustainability. Our guest is not just an entrepreneur, she's a visionary fashion designer with a champion of sustainable reselling. And leaving a corporate life behind, she took a bold leap of faith to pursue her passion and build a business from the ground up, all while navigating personal challenges. Her story is a testament to the power of perseverance and the impact of following your dreams. So I love that. We definitely want to amplify that message of following your dreams. We definitely have had several conversations about sustainability and how that is important to the culture and our community. And so please stay tuned as we uncover the trials, triumphs, and invaluable lessons from our good friend, Miss Leslie Tucker. Welcome.
That was an excellent intro.
Oh, thank you. Good to see you. Welcome in. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Yes, for sure. And so before we get started, I came to know Leslie in the reselling community and just was so touched by her message and positivity and just wanted to tap in with her and share with our community. So.
Oh, welcome to the show, Miss
Yeah.
Tucker. And let's start. Oh, Leslie, you mind me calling you Leslie, right?
Yes, I prefer that.
All right. Great. So, what inspired you to leave your corporate job and start your own business? And also, can you describe the moment that you knew it was right to make that leap of faith?
Well, the reason that I decided to leave my job is because I wanted freedom that they couldn't offer. And the moment, it was probably a lot of moments, but making the money that I was making, I knew that I could branch out on my own. So that was basically it. I knew that I could branch out on my own. I was tired of working I was a lunch lady. That was my last job. I'm a professional baker and all these other things, but I was working in a school district and there was a lot of racial undertones and different things going on. So I decided to come up with a plan to leave my job. And so I turned a 6-month plan into a 3-month plan and was able to walk away from a position in 2018. And I haven't looked back since.
Good. Fantastic. And then what were some of those fears and doubts that, came about when making this transition? It can be kind of scary. So, when people are thinking about leaving a job and really, doing this on their own. You mentioned that 3-month plan and 6 months plan. Is that what you did to prepare yourself financially and mentally for this?
Yeah, definitely. The first thing I did is I sat down with my husband and wanted to become an agreement with him that it was okay for me to leave work. Like I wasn't asking for permission, but asking for support. And the main thing he said to me was to make sure I had an emergency fund ready to go. And so that was my goal. And I was able to meet the emergency fund goal within 3-month time. And then from there, everything else is just income. So so that was basically how everything started. I sat down, I wrote out a plan. It is very scary because the job force, most people are dependent on the job, and without it, what can you do? Specifically, people who leave their job without notice, they get fired, they get laid off. So that is hard, but with the decision, knowing I wanted to leave, it was hard. Could I do it? Could I do it? And I was blessed to be able to do it.
Good.
Jen, we got to pay attention to this one. Miss Leslie, you say something very, very nice, and I want to throw it in there. You said you asked your husband for support, not permission. And see, we're here to support you all the time as men, and I think that is one of the, it's a highlight for what we're gonna talk about, or when it comes to support.
Mhm.
Making these
Yeah.
decisions are really, really difficult, and when you don't have the support, that can hinder you and make you doubt yourself when you're trying to do a lot of these things. So shout outs to your husband, flowers to him
Yeah.
for doing that, and
Mhm.
helping out us other men. Now,
Yeah.
my other question is, how did your faith influence your decision to step out and start your own business?
Well, definitely my faith was a big factor. I mean, basically everything we do is faith and we don't realize it. People
Mhm.
make it like faith is a religion, and it's not. It's just trusting and believing in something you can't see. So I knew I had everything in me to accomplish those goals by leaving my job, but I had to definitely dig down deep with my mustard seed faith, and believe that God would provide. I haven't looked back. It was one of the best decisions that I've ever made to leave my job. And I've done it before. I've done it as a stay-at-home mom. I came home.
Mhm.
My youngest was with a medical condition, and I had to, in a crazy marriage at the time, and I had to come home because I had 5 children, 5 small children home, and I had to make a decision and walk away. And that's when I left my corporate job to come home, and that was not fun. But I made the decision because my daughter was sick, and now she's out working and student, my youngest. And so I'm proud of the decisions that I made. It was a struggle, being a parent is hard.
And I want to add on to this. You already you said that you did have some difficulties before. Um, you had gone through some difficult times. Now, I think that helped you in what you were going, or you were expecting to go through. Now, when you said you're leaving your corporate job. Now, how are you staying motivated and focused throughout these difficult times?
Well, when I left my job originally, I was doing reselling, right? And so it was a lot. It was something I fell into because of my husband, and that helped me come home. But in order to sustain myself and keep building confidence in myself, I decided to go back to what I originally loved, which is handmade. It's always
Mhm.
bring me joy. It keeps me tempered. It's my therapy, everything that I do. And I think it's wonderful to be able to make money working with my hands. So
Mhm.
that right there is really important for me. If I can stay being creative, then I think I can succeed in anything. It is very scary because a lot of people don't even know. Jen knows. We're on that whatnot together, and you can see how hard it is to get out there and work your brand. But if you are consistent, and again, if you have faith, we talked about that, it can be done. I have so much fun with my business. That's the key. I have bad days, I have stressful days, but that's when I allow myself grace and I take time off and I sit back and think about what can I do different? What can I do that's not going to cause me stress? What can I take away? What can I add? But I'm having fun, and that's really the key for me. When I worked a job, I wasn't having fun, but now I'm having a lot of fun. It makes it so much easier to do what I'm doing. You know, yeah.
Nice.
Definitely. And then we will share your links, but I want you to share about what makes your business so unique. I mean, you do a couple of different things. You mentioned creating things with your hands, and I can attest to your products, but I would love for you to share.
Yeah, I was telling my husband, I was like, Jen likes that all the turmeric products.
Yes.
One person that buys my turmeric soaps and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
um, I forgot your question that quick. This is the
Oh,
55.
what makes your business unique? And I want you to share because you do more than one thing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, what makes me unique is that no one else is me. So I'm the
mm-hmm.
person, building the narrative for my business. And so usually anytime I come up with basically comes to me in a dream, and really, whatever people's belief system is, God is actually speaking. I wake up in the middle of a dream and think about what can I start that could make money? What can I change that I can make money with? So I am a crochet designer. I've been doing that for about I've been crocheting for 44 years, but I made it a business about 20 years ago. And
Okay.
so I crochet, I upcycle, taking blankets and things like that and making them to wearable items. I just started making soap in October, and to date, it's probably going to be the most lucrative business that I've had out of all my businesses. So I make earrings, and I, rework things from denim. It's just a lot of fun. It's very creative, but I also, again, I talked about podcast, that's on hold, but I make a lot of videos. I was just on as a brand ambassador for the essential oil company that I use. And so I'll be making videos on the benefits of their products in addition to making my products and things like that. So yeah, I just love community. I love everything that I do. And the thing, as you said, well, as I already said, what makes it special is me. And that's not being vain or anything. It's just like so many people will not step out and do something that they want to do with their lives, right? Because someone told them they couldn't do it, or it's the fear factor. And I, like I said, I am motivated by the fear.
And what would you say is the most rewarding part of your business?
Building a community of people who actually like what I make. I think it's really important as a handmade seller, a handcrafted seller, that that my work is validated, because people can go to the store and buy. So people can go to the store or order online and get sweaters or whatever. And I'm validated time my community shows up. So that's for me more important than anything else that I do, is that if I reach the people first, then I can build a community who will continue to come back and buy from me or listen to me when I do my talks, whatever it is that makes them want to keep coming back.
That's important. I mentioned that I know Leslie from reselling on a particular platform. And so I've learned that, people will come back if they connect with you. I mean, it's one thing if they connect with what you're selling, but it's really more so like that personal connection, and putting you're literally putting yourself out there. And some people would, hide under the covers and, don't have the guts or whatever to even get in front of a camera and, put yourself out there literally to connect with people and sell a particular thing. So it's really kind of a lot of pieces to it. But once you make that, if you see, okay, this person's coming back, they're really coming back, so.
Yeah, I think it's important. I say this all the time, your vibe does attract your tribe. What you put out will come back to you. I've been kind of doing this for I do the community on Whatnot, but I was able to build that up from 5 years ago. And I was that person 5 years ago. My husband was like, why don't you start a YouTube channel? I was like, I'm not getting in front of the camera. Not me.
Yeah, right.
I thought about it. And just from some of the input different people, were giving me, I said, well, let me try it. And I set a date, and 5 years ago in January, I sat down in front of the camera and just kind of introduced myself. And from there, it's just grown because I do it beyond Whatnot, and it's just so much fun. People in society we know, right, that look like me may not, we may not, we're not supposed to be in front of the camera from some people's eyes, right? But I show up on purpose because of my story and how I look, my alopecia, just everything. I show up, and I think that that resonates with people. And if you just show up as your true, authentic self, you can build any community. You can give as little or as much as you want. You can give your time. You can put yourself on, camera, or whatever else did you want to do. And I that people are continuing to just appreciate me being me. I think that's really important.
Definitely.
Okay. I have a question about this. The growth. When you talk about growth as a community, describe to us how the sense was, or what steps did you take to create this community? Because when you came on the camera, it's a blank sheet. Nobody knows you. Maybe a few friends here and there that will be like, okay, Leslie's starting a channel. I want to go support her. I'm gonna go watch it. But those are the people who know you. How does your community grow from, say, the ones who are known before YouTube throws you into the algorithm, whereby they say, oh, she's getting a lot of subscribers, and let's put her on this particular phase where everybody's able to spotlight
Mm-hmm.
her. How did that
Yeah.
how did that go for you?
Well, really, it was the key of just showing up, right? Like my first ever video, I just sat in front of the camera, and for like 15 minutes, I just introduced myself, right? And then I sent little snippets to Instagram. I put a little bit on TikTok. People started to watch and find me just from my videos, and then I got a little bit bolder and started going on Instagram and just kind of talking to people. And then I would take my podcast. This is when I was a full-time, well, partially podcasting. I would actually travel. I would say to people, where are you at? Where would you like me to travel? So I've been to Boston, Atlanta, and I host my podcast and then go with a group of people and break bread. And so I may not be able to physically do it, but as just showing up on Whatnot or wherever I show up, just kind of telling my story a little bit, because we all can get something from some story, right? Someone today needs to hear about hair loss, or even something as or whatever. And if you just talk about that, someone else is going to go, you know what, I can relate to her. And that's just kind of how the community built up. I would go to my husband all the time and go, this person sent me a message, because they saw me somewhere. And he said, I'm not surprised. And then it's just kind of become bigger. And then also I built the community. Again, I said through transparency, but most people don't talk truth. They don't talk truth when they come on. Social media is such, a crazy game where people can lie all day long, or they just show you the life that they think you want to see. And I just show up just raw all the time and just talk about between my husband, my children, not getting too personal, but just sharing a little bit because someone today needed that. I've had so many people in the last 5 years tell me that I saved their life. That's a huge burden, but I'm glad that they share that. Like I may have put a message out that day and they said, I was about to take my life and you said something. And so that's why I continue to show up, not necessarily for me, but for someone who may just need a word. A mother who's staying at home, or a mother who has 5 children and just trying to figure out how to navigate this system called life. Yeah.
For sure.
That's awesome. I have a question, because most of the people who come in here might be podcasters and might want to listen to this. But can you describe how you said you went to a city and went to podcast over there and broke bread with the people? How would this setup come up? How would you kind of like, would it be a call, or would you post and say, hey, I'm going to be in, say, Atlanta at the Coca-Cola Center at 10 o'clock? How do you do it? I've never done it before,
So
and I'm curious to just know how
for
it can be done.
Atlanta was easy because I was still full, reselling. So in Atlanta, it was ThriftCon, which is a vintage gathering where people sell vintage clothes and teas and things like that. And I already had a few friends in Atlanta. So I just, on Instagram, I said, oh, I'm going to be in Atlanta during ThriftCon. Is anyone interested in meeting with me? And literally I was able to get an Airbnb with friends. It was a bunch of us. And then the next day we met at a restaurant, 40 people. And I did the same thing in Boston. I said, I'm going to be in Massachusetts. Anybody want to get together? I said, it's going to be too much for me to put everyone on the podcast. So I gave everyone a challenge. And if they won the challenge, they were able to come on the podcast. So I interviewed 9 people.
Nice.
After I interviewed the 9, they just passed the mic around and I recorded it. And after I interviewed them, we went to the restaurant and 35 people there waiting, to spend time. So that was, it's really humbling that, people want to hang out like that. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
How do you manage such a huge community in terms of like communicating with them, if not via online? Do you like have newsletters, or do you like constantly send messages? How do you keep them abreast with what's going on? I know that there's a show, maybe you do it. I don't know what the frequency was for the podcast, but my idea is, how do you keep them engaged to be like, okay, I want to come back, or I'm hearing some news, like she's going to be here, stuff like that.
Yeah, I used to have an email. I used to have sent out emails, but I don't do that anymore. I'm in front of the camera so much that is how I communicate, right? And especially just to give it, like for Whatnot, they just came on today asking the community if they wanted to, like, in live, in-person meetings and things like that. And I'm used to that from selling on different apps. Poshmark, I've done a lot of that meeting. And just, if anyone's in my state, or if I know I'm going somewhere, like I'm originally from Philly, and when I go back to Philly in October, I'll say to people, I'm going to be in Delaware and Philly. Anybody want to meet? And that's usually how I do it. I don't have to send them out anything. I just announce it, and then my DMs blow up, and people say, "Oh, this is where I'm at. This is where I'm at." And that's how I kind of meet people. And I love the network. A lot of the resellers are thrifters, and that really doesn't work for me because I have thrift stores where I'm at. But I like to sit down and ask people, like, what it is. What do you want to build? Where do you want to go? What is your why? So that's true networking is really important to me.
Oh, that's nice. I'm liking what I'm hearing, especially when you talk about community. Because, like I said, we always talk about this community idea whereby all of us have to, not have to, but all of us actually have to kind of come together and share the same ideas, give each other morale, a boost to whereby you have a goal. And if I'm coming to listen to you, I come and listen to you. My goal is to listen to you, and you give me some gems that I live with. So it's actually, like you said, breaking bread and sharing stuff amongst yourselves. That's great. I'm liking that.
For sure. And Leslie is the self-proclaimed Philly John. I wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah, well, that's the words. I said John, and it's a verb, a noun, an adjective. I'm
yes,
John.
I've heard about it.
Well, it's the derivative from the word joint that started in New York, right? And the people back in the 20s and 30s and 40s, they knock on the door and say, "Is this the joint?" And that's where they knew Black people. It was safe for the Black people to go, and whether it be a club or whatever. And then so Philly, just because my husband's from New Jersey, so he says joint, and I say John. So yeah.
Oh, love it.
Yep.
I love it.
I'm a Philly fan, so
okay.
I'm an Eagles fan for life.
You're an Eagles fan? Yeah, the Eagles.
Yeah.
They're home, so I will root for them because they're home. Eagles, Flyers, yeah.
Oh, okay. Now we're gonna go backwards, right? Is there anything you would have done differently during your transition now that you've gotten to where we are?
Usually I don't think about going back, because I believe that everything I've gone through has led me to this moment. So to take away from the experience that I had, whether it was good or bad. I had to go through all that stuff to get here. I haven't arrived anywhere yet, but I had to go through challenges and, worrying about money and wondering if I could clothe my children by taking this leap and staying home. So I wouldn't take anything away. I'm glad that I went through all those things, everything in my life. I'm glad that I went through everything because I wouldn't have a story to tell if I didn't go through those things.
But even going through that, like, for example, going through that, the whole journey, right? There were steps that you could have, maybe if I did this move, it would have led me somewhere else. If I did this move, it would have taken me like B or A, right?
Yeah.
But either way, we're here. But you can say, yeah, I could have taken B. It would have led me to this, but I'm comfortable where I'm at. Like, I'm guessing you're comfortable where you're at. So if you, either way, do you have any questions regarding, like, I could have done that path. It would have led me to this other thing that I would have been doing. But no. What I'm at, I'm comfortable. So that's how I was. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say I really can't answer that, but I will say that I'm not comfortable because I haven't done all the things that I want to do. If that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable because you get comfortable. There's no room for growth. So I have a lot of room for growth. I'm still a work in progress. And so I don't get comfortable. I'm always thinking about what's the next step because my goal is in 5 years, since I'll be 55 on Saturday, to in 5 years be totally done. I'll write some books or something like that, and I don't have to worry about products or anything like that. So that's where I am definitely not comfortable, and that's okay. I'm always about stepping out of the comfort zone, making different moves, and being strategic in some of the things that I do.
I wanted to be more. I'm thinking. I want to be like more philosophical when I was using that term comfortable.
Right.
I think comfortable means experienced.
Yeah.
Like, you think?
Because when you're comfortable, you don't really worry about the other things. You've passed. Some things are just they're past, right? And you're like you said, you're not comfortable. You're not there yet, right? Like I can say with my podcasting, I'm comfortable with my podcasting. I'm okay. I am comfortable. Have I made it? No. Am I comfortable in the sense that I'm yet to achieve some stuff? Yes. That part I'm uncomfortable.
Okay.
But being comfortable as hey, we've been doing this for a while. I mean, Jen, you would say, you and Leslie, you too. That's like day one. Yeah, you're not comfortable.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good, sense to have of not getting too comfortable, because we know what can happen. Some of us know what can happen when you get too comfortable. So definitely.
But I like the answer how you put it regarding the way you could have changed it or made it different, or the way it is, having it to be a lesson. But I'm going to throw one more where I'm going to ask you this one. What's the biggest lesson that you've learned since becoming an entrepreneur?
The biggest lesson that I've learned is that it can be done. That anyone can accomplish their goals, right? Because again, I wasn't making soap in October, and it brings me good money. But I learned that there's a lot of room for growth, and I'm willing to study and do all the things that I need to grow. So that's basically probably the biggest thing that I've learned. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, we have a comment. If you want to acknowledge our comment, Sambaza.
Yes. Ed Campbell is here and says, "Peace and light, family." As always, Ed, you're very, very welcome. And everybody else who's online with us, you're very welcome. And Ed also says he appreciates your transparency.
Okay. Right on. Thank you for the comments. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat.
They have been out there. So now, can you share how we can contact you? I know you have multiple. From what you've explained, you have multiple streams of income. Could you tell our listeners and viewers what you have out there?
Yeah, so I have 3 websites. One of my websites is dedicated to my sweaters and my patterns and digital products. And then my other website is dedicated to my soaps. I'm building up on that. So it's a areworkerspassion.com, a areworkerspassion.store, and I have a areworkerspassion.shop. And that's a group that I'm growing on an app called District, similar to Whatnot. And then
you're on there.
So I was one of their first marketplaces, but Crazy Lamp Lady has taken over. Yeah. I was one of their first. They approached me, and so I'm not doing a whole lot. It's so hard to move around if you're trying to build a community in one spot. So I just want to build a little, and then I'm getting too old for the moving around. But then I'm on social media. Instagram is where you'll find me. I have a large community over there. You can send me a DM, and that's where you will see like my videos, how I make my sweaters, how I make my soap. I bring a little positivity over there. I'm on TikTok and Whatnot. Definitely join Whatnot. I'm pretty sure Jen put her link, how you guys can get her. You don't need mine, but Whatnot is a selling community, and I just really like it a lot. It's building up, And that's one of the main places you can find me on Whatnot. You can find my items that I sell, and you can also, I do a community chat once a week, a seller support. And if you have any questions or anything like that, that's where I'm at. Yeah.
Okay.
I got a question on. Go ahead.
Sambaza, really quick, I just want to brag on Leslie. She makes really amazing soap. She mentioned it and kind of but they're amazing. They have great products that are good for your skin and your body. We're talking about scrubbing dead skin cells off your legs and your body, and turmeric. You have dark spots and, sensitive skin and, sensitive parts of your body. And there's a product that Leslie literally makes from hand with handmade, products. Cocoa butter, coffee. I mean, it's amazing. I really enjoy what you have come up with.
Thank you. Yeah, I used to be a professional baker. People ask me, I was on a Zoom chat yesterday, and like, what haven't you done? But that was one of my jobs when I worked in Philly. I worked in about 15 kitchens, professional baker, and I don't want to do that anymore. So I take my baking and my creativity and kind of bring those together. And that's where the turmeric and the coffee and the matcha and the clay and all those things. I make, them Jen knows, a soap that looks like and smells like a brownie, and I play around with different molds, strawberries and pickles. And, I participate in food-based shows, but I don't sell food. I sell food-related items. So I have fun with that. And, but yeah, the soap is amazing. I started that because my daughter is 26 and she is on the spectrum, and we were having a problem finding a job for her. And let's start your business. And she wasn't as enthused as me. That's why she only goes live every few weeks, but it's something for her. But for me, it's grown, and I've been doing a lot of research and everything. So I'm really liking the soap, but I still like my crochet the most. I've been doing that for long. And also I can do it while watching TV or reading a book or something and just create some things. Like I just did 3 sweaters this week, that kind of thing. And then I was making soap before I got on here with you. So I'll be going back to that. And if you have a lot of new things coming. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun. And that's the key to me. If I have fun in what I'm doing, I'm going to keep doing it and figuring out how I can improve and how I can make money with it.
Yeah. Before Sambaza goes, I just thought of another thing. So we definitely have to put you in touch with one of our sewing friends who is a sewing enthusiast. She is the sewist. And I don't know sure if you're familiar with her or not, Lisa Wolfork of the Black Woman Stitch. And she really makes amazing pieces and is about community and things like that. And I would say like you're almost in the same neck of the woods. She's out of Virginia area, but
yeah,
I will have to give you a link. But I know like some of these sewing events, like what was this thing that they just had? Was it in Chicago? I'm not sure if you're familiar. It has like a little cool name too. You remember what it's called, Sambaza? That event, it's like a sewing type of event that Lisa did.
I've been online, so it's been a
yes, you have. Because she got to meet that famous lady that made the leather jacket for Michael Jordan, and okay, I'll send you the link. I'll send it to you. But yeah, you've gotta check her out. That's like right up your alley.
The thing I'm not happy about is Miss Leslie saying that she's not baking anymore, and I love cakes.
Let's be clear. I don't bake to sell, but I'm baking. We keep cookie dough in our refrigerator. When my children were growing up, I would make the cookie dough and then they could bake the cookies. But I do a great 7-Up cake, red velvet chocolate. I still bake. Yeah, I just don't, because my kitchen's not licensed. When I was in Philly, I didn't need a licensed kitchen, but I had a license and I was certified then. But now I'm like, yeah, I just bake for home and bake for some friends and stuff. Yeah.
Jen, how far is it from Philly to Baltimore?
I don't know.
About 6 hours.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, no, a
Yes.
little bit less, maybe 5, because you have to go through there, and then it's 2 hours to Philly from there. Yeah, so
Because we're gonna be in October around the 18th to the 20th. We're gonna be in
okay.
Philadelphia for the Afros and
It's,
Audio
yeah,
Festival. So
really.
yeah,
Well, we're
we
talking
gather
about
over there
going.
as podcasters.
Yeah, well,
So
we're talking about going to Philly in October. My son is stationed in South Korea, and he's coming home for the
okay,
Okay.
and we're talking about going back to Philly, Delaware. So we'll see what happens. Yeah,
okay. So
yeah.
we'll be in Baltimore for the weekend, that 18th to the
Mhm.
20th. So
Right.
yeah, I was thinking if it was close by, I probably would have been there, got me some piece of cake. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
All right.
But I have this little question, Mike. This is just a side note,
Okay.
and I'm an ambassador for Afros and Audio. That's why I'm trying to throw in that plug for you to come there, and you'll
Mhm.
probably meet Miss Lisa Wolfork. She will
Oh,
definitely be
okay.
there, and y'all can have this great engagement of
Well, send
kind
me
of
a
hanging
message.
out
I'm all
together.
about traveling. Yeah, I'm all about traveling.
Okay.
Oh, okay, cool. And yeah, so I was gonna try to figure out this your engagement from Instagram and TikTok. How is
Hmm.
it different? Because people have different,
Yeah.
say, different connections or different, because they have, it's all different communities. These are two communities,
Yes.
Mhm.
different ways and
Yeah.
different algorithms. How do you find the engagement on both the two?
TikTok. I always say that TikTok and I are not friends. I've been on TikTok for 3 years, and I have less than 2,000 followers. Right, so I put out what
Okay.
interests me. And because one thing with TikTok, is a lot drama, music, and I'm just like, so I'm laid back, and I don't want to use what they want me to use for me to
Mhm.
become viral. So I just put out what I like. Instagram, on the other hand, is my most popular. I have 28,000 or more followers over there, and I create really great reels and have a lot of fun over there. So it's a little bit different. Facebook's a little bit different. They're all different, but Instagram for the last 5 years has been really good to me. And I've met a lot of
Okay.
people. That's how I found out about Whatnot, through
Mhm.
Instagram. It's just different
Oh,
platforms. YouTube is
okay.
different, right? So yeah.
Mhm.
All
Yeah,
right.
and
Now,
with
since you
that,
went back, go ahead.
sorry, that event that I was thinking of is called Frocktails.
Oh, okay. Never heard of that.
You
Yeah.
haven't heard? Okay, so yeah, it's
Oh,
like a conference type of thing. Yeah, so festival. Yeah,
no, sounds good.
yeah, cool. And it's
Now,
in
since we went,
Baltimore
because you came
apparently.
in and went back and forth, tell us again the businesses, the three businesses that we should be looking out for you.
So they're basically all the same. Everything's under my brand, A Reworker's Passion, because I rework, I upcycle, and create sustainable, fashion and things like that. Like, it's all about perspective. So A Reworkerspassion.store, that's my soap. I rework liquid into soap. My crochet, I rework, string into beautiful wearable items. And the dot shop is my district. That's just my whole marketplace. But then but if you go to my Instagram and click the link, it'll give you a drop down of like everywhere. I'm kind of like all over the place. Yeah.
All right.
So if you
Okay.
soap.store, reworkerspassion.store for soap, crochet.com.
Okay.
All right.
And
That's
I'm
what's up.
trying to send you that link. I don't know. Maybe I'll email it to you because it's not letting me send it to your Instagram. But okay, cool. Well, I appreciate you so much, Leslie, for sharing and taking time to speak with us. I really enjoyed this and what you shared. I really do.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. I enjoyed it. I'm having fun. Aside from my challenges with the Wi-Fi, oh great.
Yeah. Awesome. And then let's see here. So, if you found our episode meaningful, please consider sharing with your friends and family. Our collective awareness and advocacy play a crucial part in creating a positive change. So, stay tuned for more engaging content. Sambaza, any additional thoughts?
Leslie, thank you so much for everything that you've given us today in terms of gems, knowledge, and information that I'm hoping to take in as I go ahead and do the podcasting. And I like the way you said about comfortability. You're not comfortable there yet, even though I was trying to be philosophical, but you made me realize that yes, it's not
It's
over.
all
We
perspective.
just
It's
have
all
to
about
keep trudging on.
perspective.
Yes,
Yeah.
I really appreciate that. That was a great
Thank
lesson that I can take away from today from you.
you.
And yeah, I had a really nice time. You're welcome back anytime.
For
Thank you.
sure.
I had thank you.
All right. Well, you guys, you can stick around for a quick second, Leslie, as we properly send you out. And everyone else, thank you for tuning in and take care. At this time, we're going to go ahead and conclude the episode. We greatly appreciate you listening. We invite you to follow us on social media. On Instagram, it is Woke by Accident Podcast. On Twitter, it is Woke by. On Facebook, it is Woke by Accident Podcast. We also have the new website up, www.wokebyaccident.net. Please check us out. And also follow us on all of your favorite streaming platforms. And please leave a review and share feedback. You can also reach out by Gmail, wokebyaccident@gmail.com. And every time you listen, we appreciate it so much. Thank you for listening and take care.